Hello, my name's Adam Kuby, and I'm about to take you down to the beautiful and very windy Oregon coast to show you how to set up my open source artwork, Sea Level 2080. Then you can go create your own installations in your communities back home to coincide with the UN Climate Summit on September 21st. I hope this video helps. It's quite easy to do, especially if you have some helping hands. And again, thank you so much for participating. Together, we're going to create a global art action. The idea of Sea Level 2080 is to stretch fabric anywhere near a coastline to show where sea level is projected to rise by the year 2080. All you need to create your own installation is fabric, string, stakes, a hammer, and a tape measure. For this installation, I'm using 9 yards of stretchy polyester. Microgalleries can ship you a package with this kind of fabric. If you're supplying your own fabric, make sure to get something really stretchy. A stiff fabric won't work. I suggest an inexpensive rayon or polyester. A 70 denier polyester works really well. A sandy beach is obviously the easiest place to do an installation, but you could also install Sea Level 2080 in areas with trees or buildings that are in the path of sea level rise. Back on the windy Oregon coast, I'm setting up the installation myself. The first task is to estimate where sea level could be in 2080. For this project, I'm estimating that to be approximately 29 inches or 73 centimeters above current sea level. I got this by taking the average of the lowest and highest predictions for the year 2080. Sea level may rise at different rates in different parts of the world, so feel free to research more about your region. You can use my calculation of 29 inches or 73 centimeters, or come up with your own regional estimate. Here I'm measuring up 29 inches from the high tide line to get a sense of where that is and how far up the beach the water might rise. To determine your setup location, you'll want the fabric to be approximately 1 foot or 30 centimeters off the ground where you set it up, which means you'll need to go uphill from high tide about 17 inches or 43 centimeters. Don't worry about being exact, just use your best guess. On this beach, I decided to go up about 100 feet or 30 meters uphill from the high tide line. Once you've decided on your location, lay out the fabric where you want it to go. On a beach, I usually align the fabric parallel to the shoreline. Then lay out the stakes, starting with the corners. Make sure they are far enough away so that you can stretch the fabric both long and wide. I'm using 7 stakes per side, spaced about 5 feet or 1.5 meters apart. I purchased 2-foot long or 60 centimeter long wood stakes, but you could use longer ones too. You can also use found driftwood or even pieces of bamboo, as long as they are stiff enough to stretch the fabric. Once the stakes are where you want them, just pound them in so they feel secure. I'm leaving about 14 inches or 35 centimeters above the sand. The stakes work best if you angle them away from the fabric a bit and with their flat side pointing in. Now it's time to tie string to the fabric. I use a brown twine so that it's not so visible. Take a small pebble or shell or anything hard and small that you bring or find on the beach, and wrap the end of the fabric around the pebble. Then tie the string tightly around the pebble. If you know how to tie a slip knot, you can slip that around it. Now cut the string, leaving a few extra feet at the end just in case you need to make adjustments later. Once all the strings are attached and cut, start tying the fabric to the stakes. I like to wrap the string around the stakes a few times and then tie a temporary bow or knot so I can readjust them later. At this point, people like this kiteboarder might start asking you what you're up to. So start talking to people about the project, about sea level rise, and about climate disruption. Once you're finished tying it off, you can then make any adjustments you need to by moving the stakes or tightening the strings or moving the strings up and down on the stakes. An alternative to staking out the fabric is to get volunteers to hold the fabric above the ground or walk it through an area threatened by sea level rise. Don't worry too much about whether the fabric is exactly the right distance above existing sea level. Here, it's more about the message and the visuals. Then upload your best photos and videos to the Microgallery's website so we can all see your amazing contributions. Again, thanks so much for participating. We're so excited and we can't wait to see what you create.